What is up, my people? This is Brad. Welcome back to another CGC reveal video. It has been a minute, actually, since I've recorded one of these. I have slowed down quite a bit in terms of how much I am submitting. Definitely slowed down in terms of how much I'm buying, but that's okay because I've still got probably close to 1,000 raw magazines and plenty more that I can still send in to be graded. So yeah, let's talk projections. Let's talk cover details, pop reports, sales. Have some fun, talking through some of these covers and some of these issues that I have got graded. I am still desperately waiting for CGC to release their JSA autograph authentication service with magazines. They're already doing it with comics, but they have not done it yet with magazines. It's supposed to be coming, and that's what I'm really excited about because I got some big heavy hitters that have been signed that I've been sitting on for a couple of years now, and I'm ready to send those guys in to be graded. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. I think I've got five or six for you today. And here we go. We're going to start with this first one. Of course, I have already seen these. I know what these are. All right, here we go. Now we are ready. So first up, oh yeah, one of my favorite covers right here. You've probably seen me share this one before. This is Yadier Molina, Rare Bird. This is his first and only Sports Illustrated cover. Let's see if we can zoom in to show some labeling a little bit. It says Yadier Molina cover. That's because this is a variant. And here it says first Yadier Molina Sports Illustrated cover. So yeah, this is a variant cover, one of four that week. So let's think. There was a Mike Trout, there was a Yasuhiro Tanaka, and oh shoot, who was the third one on this one? Robinson Cano was the fourth player on the cover this week. So yeah, I'm a Cardinals fan. Yadier Molina, actually probably my favorite baseball player of all time. You can even see above my shoulder, I've got a print of this cover. Had that up there for over 2 years because it took a long time before I was able to find a newsstand copy of this. This is now the fourth newsstand copy that I have owned of this one. I owned an, I think, 8.0. Is that right? Yeah, I owned an 8.0, which I sold. I owned a 9.0, which I still have, and I own a 9.6, which I still have. And now here's this 8.5. So let's see here. Yadier Molina is a lock for the Hall of Fame. You can argue that with me if you want. I know a lot of people like to debate it, and that's because if you look at especially like his offensive numbers, his offensive numbers overall are pretty average, but defensively, he's one of the best to ever do it. I mean, this guy's a 10-time All-Star, 9-time Gold Glove winner, 4-time Platinum Glove winner, which means he was the best defender in the entire league, 4 different seasons. He is also the all-time leader in defensive WAR for a career, ever, of anybody. Number 2 is Ozzie Smith. So, I mean, this dude, nobody would run on him. If you look at the numbers, there's an amazing graph out there that shows total number of stolen bases allowed by a team from 2004, which is the year that Yachty came in, up through like whatever 2022, whenever he retired. And the Cardinals have like 80% fewer steals allowed than every other team in Major League Baseball over that period. It's insane. Like people wouldn't even run on him because the dude was just an absolute monster. And actually, there for a few years, he actually was a good hitter too. He had 2 top 5 MVP finishes, and one of those seasons, he was really the leader to win it until he got hurt and had about a month long stint on the DL. So I love Yadier Molina. He is my guy. There have only been 6 newsstand copies of this graded, like I said, 4 of which I have owned. My 9.6 is the highest out there. There's 196, 194, 192, 190, 185, and 180. So from 80 to 96, there's one graded copy of each of those grades. There are no 98s. I did sell my 8.0 about a year ago in a private sale for $275 because this is a very tough one to find with it being a variant. Also, this is from 2014. So this is kind of that time period that I think is like sneaky, really hard to find some certain covers because Oh, sorry about that. Because it was kind of that period where like the internet had already majorly taken over and fewer people were buying Sports Illustrated. So, there weren't as many people grabbing newsstand copies in 2014. And also it was before like the hobby of collecting graded magazines had taken off. So there's a little window in there, in my opinion, from like, I don't know, '05 to 2017, where some of these modern newsstands are actually super, super rare, super tough to find. Good chance I'll sell this one. I may even give it to a friend because I got a lot of family and friends who are big Cardinals fans. But since I've already got the 9.6 and 9.0, probably won't keep this one around. I'll end up doing something with it. All right, so that's number one. Love that Yadier Molina cover. Absolutely love it. Here's number two. And this one is even more rare than the Yadier Molina. Look at this guy. I am not a LeBron James fan, but I'm a fan of this cover. This is a big time cover. This is from 2008. And this is, in my opinion, the most difficult newsstand copy to find of a LeBron James cover. And he's been on, I think over 30 covers at this point. He's been on a lot of covers, but this is the toughest newsstand to find. His first cover, everyone's got copies of that. Everyone was grabbing LeBron James' first cover off the newsstand because he was a major, major, prospect, superstar, a lot of hype. But the reason that this one is not easy to find is because it's 2008. So by this time he'd been on a handful of covers. I don't know for sure how many, maybe 10 or so. But this was a 1/6 variant. This specific cover was only released regionally, and there were 6 total covers that week. And I'm pretty sure I can name you the others. Obviously, you had LeBron, you had Kobe, which that's one of my favorite Kobe covers. I also own this Kobe cover in newsstand, a 9.2, which was for a long time the highest. I haven't looked in a while to see if it's still the highest. So LeBron, Kobe, there was a Kevin Garnett, there was a Kevin Durant, there was an Elton Brand, and there was a Dwight Howard. Those were the 6 covers this week. I love the color match. The Kobe one is yellow in the background. The Dwight Howard was blue in the background. He was with the Magic. Very beautiful cover, just nice aesthetic to it. And this cover, this LeBron version of the cover came in at number 12 on my countdown for top covers from the 2000s. There's only been 4 newsstand copies graded, so that kind of goes to what I was telling you about how this is super tough to find, super rare. There's one 9.6, there's one 9.4, there's now my 8.0, it's the third highest copy, and then there's a 6.0. Those are the only newsstand copies of this graded. The 9.6 is listed on eBay for $15,000. So once again, just kind of goes to show you that this is a tough, tough, tough LeBron James cover. So I actually picked this up. This is actually pretty awesome. I picked this one up in a lot for, I want to say I paid $100. And the lot came with like, I think I got 5 magazines in the lot. A couple of them are going to be in this unboxing video. A couple of the others will be in some future upcoming unboxing videos. But this seller on eBay actually was selling a lot of like preview issues. Okay, so actually the Yachty that I just showed you came from it as well. This Yachty. So if you see, this was the baseball preview. So like every year, Sports Illustrated would do an MLB preview, NBA, NFL, where they're going to basically preview all of the teams heading into the season. You can see baseball preview 2014. That was the Yachty, and then this LeBron, this 6 variant cover. NBA preview for 2008. So this guy had obviously gone out and bought newsstand copies of all of these preview issues for each of the sports, and he was selling them in a lot, and there was a bunch of them I didn't really want, and they were not in great shape. I'm actually pretty pleased with an 8.0, pretty pleased with the Yachty 8.5. In fact, I forgot to tell you my projections. I projected the Yachty at an 8.0, so it came in a little higher. I projected this LeBron at a 7.0, so that's great, coming in a little bit higher than expectations. But this lot that I bought was pretty beat up, and I think I got 5 magazines for $100. I got the LeBron, I got the Yachty, I got this next one that I'm about to show you, and then a couple others. And these are some big issues. So actually, what happened was he had this lot with a bunch more magazines, and he had it listed at a higher price for auction. And I said, "Hey, I messaged him. I said, I'll give you $100 for just these 5 out of his lot of like 20." And he's like, okay. He said, I'd like to let the auction play out. He said, if these don't sell, then I'll message you back and you can have them. Well, to be honest, he didn't have the listing listed very well. Like if you were searching for this LeBron cover, it wouldn't have popped up. He didn't have the specific covers listed on the title or in the details. He just basically had like Sports Illustrated annual preview lot. And I just happened to glance at it and look through the pictures, and I was like, oh, wow, there's some good ones in here. So anyway, no one bid in his auction. And sure enough, he messaged me back and said, okay, you can have these 5 for $100. So I got a nice pickup with some really good covers for $100. I mean, this one alone, I would expect to sell for definitely more than $100 if I put it up right now. So there you go. Once again, I am not a LeBron James fan at all, but I do love that LeBron James cover. And I certainly recognize the value of certain LeBron James covers in newsstands. So my plan is to be keeping that one. Okay, here's a third one. This is number 3 out of 5 that I got in that lot. The other 2 will be in a future unboxing video, but check this one out right here. Aaron Rodgers first cover 9.4. This is awesome. This is a really tough cover to find too. Aaron Rodgers first cover. Once again, you can see it was the NFL preview from 2009. This was also a variant cover. Sports Illustrated love to do those variant covers on the preview issues. The other covers on this one, let's see. I think I put it in my notes. Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, and Tony Romo were on the other 3 covers this week. And it says quarterback, the toughest job in NFL. Pretty cool tight shot with the helmet right there. I projected this one at an 8.0. So once again, came in way higher than my expectations. Of course, if you've seen my previous videos, you know I am ultra conservative on my projections. I hate being disappointed, so I always kind of take a look, make my projection, and then even maybe bump it down a grade on what I would think. And usually what I put as my projection is like the lowest possible grade I could see this coming in. And that was an 8.0 for this one, but they popped me in 9.4, which is awesome. Aaron Rodgers has been on 12 total covers. He's a 4-time MVP. I think that's second only to Peyton Manning. He also is a Super Bowl champ and a Super Bowl MVP. He's got the highest career passer rating of any quarterback in NFL history. And this one came in at number 10 on my list of top covers from the 2000s. So Pop reports on this one, and Pop reports on this one. There have only been 7 newsstand copies graded. So once again, I mean, Aaron Rodgers' first cover, only 7. Think about if that was his rookie card. That's just unheard of. That would be absurd if there were only 7 Aaron Rodgers graded rookie cards, and how many people would be trying to get those? That's a huge part of why I think there's a lot of potential for growth in the future for this hobby, because the scarcity of some of these newsstands is insane, and that's why I get a lot of comments on my videos of, hey, subscriptions are cool to collect too, because these newsstands are impossible to find. And I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. If you can find a newsstand like this one, and that's primarily what I collect. I hunt the newsstands. That's part of the fun for me, is the hunt. The subscriptions are usually a lot easier to obtain. They're still beautiful covers. But the scarcity of the newsstands is just crazy. So 7 graded copies. There are 4 9.6s. There's not any 9.8s. 4 9.6s. There's now 1 9.4. So this is a Pop 1 with 4 higher. There are 2 9.2s. Now that is, okay, so actually let me back up a little bit. Those numbers are since the census broke out this variant. This is a variant cover. There are 20 copies of this week's cover that were graded before CGC finally broke it out in the census. So of those 20 that had previously been graded, without a doubt, a few of them are going to be Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, Tony Romo. Probably the majority of the Aaron Rodgers, because since this is Aaron Rodgers' first cover, it's very collectible. But of those 20 that had previously been graded, I'd say it's safe to say at least 12 of them are probably Aaron Rodgers. So let me backtrack from that number earlier when I said 7 total copies have been graded. Let's just estimate that it's more closer to 20. There's been 27 copies of this issue graded, but 20 of them we're not sure which specific cover it was because CGC hadn't broken it out in the census yet. They hadn't broken out those variants. Now they have, and since they have, we know for sure that there's 7 Aaron Rodgers. So some sales, and yeah, by the way, that LeBron I just showed you, there's never been a sale of that one that I could find. Very rare, only 4 graded copies. Now this one, there's been a few sales, and actually kind of surprisingly low in my opinion. A 9.6, which I told you there's at least 4 9.6 out there. I found 2 sales of those. One of them went for 150, which I think is criminal. Another one went for 325, which I think is a lot more realistic. The most recent sale I could find was May of 2024. That was an 8.5 and it sold for $190. So there you go. I think this is one that is underrated, a lot of room for growth. Definitely will be keeping it in my PC. Aaron Rodgers, like him or dislike him, he's become a little bit more of a controversial figure later in his career. Not the greatest personality, but easily one of the best quarterbacks ever to play. And who knows, he could still have a late career renaissance with the Jets. Of course, he got hurt last season. Will be interesting to see if he's able to put together another, 1 or 2 healthy seasons with the Jets. All right, next up. We got 3 left, so it looks like I had six in this submission. All right, this is not a Sports Illustrated. I've actually never had this magazine graded before. And this is Golf Magazine. Golf Magazine, Tiger Woods. This is from 1996. And they gave me the labeling that I asked for. And that labeling says, first Tiger Woods cover in title, which means it is his first cover for Golf Magazine. Pretty cool shot. Pretty cool early Tiger cover. And to me, if you're taking Sports Illustrated out of the mix, Golf Magazine is the most significant magazine that covers golf. So I thought this was kind of a significant cover. That's why I got it, and that's why I sent it to be graded. 7.5, that's great. I projected a 6.5. There have been 6 newsstand copies of this graded. There's a 9.6, there's a 9.4, a 9.2, a 9.0, there's an 8.0. Now there's a 7.5. So mine's the lowest of the 6. Now this surprised me. One of these just sold on Heritage Auctions in June, and it was a 9.0 and it sold for $55. I think that's very low because, like I said, I think the first Golf Magazine cover for Tiger Woods is pretty freaking cool. I think it's very cool, and for a 9.0 to go for $55, I think that's one that 10 years from now will be worth a lot more than $55. So, I'm not the hugest golf fan in the world, but I recognize the collectability of Tiger Woods and his dominance over his long career. So this will be one that I hold on to as well. All right, 2 left. I didn't put these in order from worst to best. Usually I do that. I guess I was being a little lazy this time. Okay, we're throwing this one back a little bit further here. This is 1979. We got Magic Johnson, legendary, epic cover. This is his first pro cover. This is a newsstand. It's a 6.0. First time he was on the cover in his Lakers uniform. This was his rookie season. So I projected a 5.5. I'll take that little bump there to the 6.0. This one came in at number 9 on my all-time list of all Sports Illustrated covers. Number 9. I think this is the most collectible Magic Johnson cover. I definitely like this one much better than his first cover. He was on 2 covers in college. His second one is actually a really great shot of him slamming it down in the national championship game with Michigan State. His first one was heading into his sophomore year, and he's just like wearing a tuxedo hanging off of a basket, like in a staged photo. just not really a huge fan of that cover. I think it's significant, but I like this one much, much better. I mean, look at that awesome font, straight 70s there. It's just like Boogie Nights, disco, Saturday Night Fever kind of vibes. You got, Magic Johnson's got kind of a fro there. He didn't play with that much hair for the majority of his career. He had a much tighter buzz. So this is just a young Magic, rookie Magic, really cool cover. Let's see here. This is one of 25 newsstands graded, and it's a pop 3 with 15 higher. There is one 9.8. I would think that one would have some pretty significant value. To me, the 9.8 would be worth definitely 5 figures. So sales, there's been tons of subscription sales of this one, which is a sign that this is a very collectible and a very desirable cover. Most of those subscription sales, and I'm talking like graded subscriptions, most of those range between $40 and $100. There was a 5.5 newsstand that sold this year in January, and that went for $122. So that's probably not far off from what this value would be. This would probably be, in the range of 125 to 150 would be my guess as a 6.0. A 9.6, and there were not many newsstand sales at all that I could find. A 9.6 sold in 2021 for $5,000. So there you go. Magic Johnson, first pro cover. Irvin Johnson brings his bag of tricks to LA. Fun player to watch. Legendary player, one of the all-time greats. All right, one magazine left in this video, and we're going non-sports on this one, and not a Sports Illustrated. We're talking Time Magazine, Harry Potter. Let's go. How about that? The magic of Harry Potter. Hero of 3 bestsellers. He's not just for kids. Here's why the books have captured our imagination. This is from 1999. They did give me my labeling. First Harry Potter themed cover in title. So this is the first time that Harry Potter appeared on the cover of Time magazine. I stumbled upon it and I thought that it was relevant. I do think pop culture magazine covers are still underrated and something that have been growing and will continue to grow. Harry Potter is massive. I like Harry Potter. I read all the books. I think I read most of them in like grade school, junior high. I think the 6th one maybe came out when I was in high school. I think the last one might even come out like right after I graduated from high school, and I went out and bought them, right when they came out, and I read them. So I've read all 7. I've seen the movies. My wife is a fanatic, Harry Potter fanatic. I projected this one at a 5.5. So the first Harry Potter book, like I said, this cover's from 99. The first book, which was The Sorcerer's Stone, came out in June of 97. The second cover was released. Okay, I didn't put down when the second one was released. That's the Chamber of Secrets. But this cover right here, it came out 2 weeks after the U.S. release of the third book, which was The Prisoner of Azkaban. So, and that makes sense because it said hero of 3 bestsellers. So this was right after the third book, Prisoner of Azkaban. Harry Potter is the best-selling book series in the history of the world. It has sold over 600 million copies. This is the only graded copy of this issue thus far. There are a couple more out there on eBay. This is not a super high grade one, so if you're watching this, go see if you can snag one of those newsstands that's out there, because to me this is one that could be more collectible over time. So obviously no sales since this is the only graded copy. All right, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet done so, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I appreciate likes and comments. And until the next video, see you next time.